Morning. We are here today to bring to your attention some information Unite the People believes is exculpatory in Mr. Daystar Peterson's case, professionally known as Tory Lanez. Recently, we've been made aware that a member of the media, Mr. Gianno Caldwell, was working on an op-ed for the New York Post regarding Mr. Peterson's innocence. During his work on that op-ed, he became aware of some information in Unite the People's possession regarding a statement that was given to Unite the People by someone with information relevant to that case. The New York Post recently reached out to the prior district attorney, George Gascon, Megan Pete and her representatives, and Kelsey Harris and her representatives. The only party that responded last week was Megan Pete's representatives with a request for more information. A few days later, Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell. Unite the People represents Daystar Peterson in his appellate process. We filed an appellate brief and a writ of habeas corpus on his behalf.
We're not going to skip over that, bro. We're not just going to skip over the whole idea that when they reached out to let them know that they had new evidence or they had the truth behind what was going on, and I'm sure that he's going to reveal what the truth is. I literally just stepped off the plane and seen this while I was on the plane. I couldn't wait to get to my hotel room so that I can have this conversation. That literally, right after that, he got attacked by a dude that is serving life in prison on a prison yard right after, the day after they reached out to Megan Pete, who was Meg Thee Stallion's team. All of a sudden, for whatever reason, Tory Lanez ends up in the hospital when they tried to take his life. We stood on business since day one. And all of these women said that Tory Lanez was guilty and that he needed to go to jail and believe all women. And I shot credibility in that from day one when she appeared on Gail King's show and she said that they never slept together. And in the documentary, she then revealed that they did sleep together, which obviously we seen all of the details of the case and nobody could prove that he actually shot her, but everybody was keeping quiet because they wanted to protect themselves and they didn't want to go to jail themselves and be charged with the whole situation. But she is the one that said that he shot her. Now you see hits coming out in prison and they trying to take this man's life. And from day one, I said, I don't believe it. I think that she's lying. This woman need to be prosecuted and sent to prison. And everybody involved with it that tried to, man, I think that this stinks up to the highest of highs, and I can't wait to talk about it on After Hours. This is crazy. This is insane. Let me get the rest of this, and then we're going to come back and we're going to react to it.
The district attorney's office has already responded. The case is fully briefed. We're just waiting for the appellate court's decision. We were willing to wait for the appellate process to play out. But given that brutal, unprovoked attack, we felt it necessary to come here today to provide you with this information. It is our intention to make a request to the governor to either pardon or commute the sentence of Mr. Peterson so that when he recovers from this attack, he's not returned to a jail cell, but that he's allowed to go home and recover.
And seek restitution.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Ms. Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do.
10 years, y'all.
Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Ms. Harris had where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw two women fighting, two men break up the fight, one man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. The passenger side is where Miss Harris was sitting. This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete. It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case.
Never should have been in prison.
For example, there were 3 potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson, even though unknown DNA was found on the gun. Why wasn't Miss Harris's DNA taken? Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense? Why wasn't the driver of the car, Mr. Jaquan Smith's DNA taken? Or was it taken and again, simply not given to the defense? We don't know. It should have been taken. It is Unite the People's understanding, regular LAPD practice at a crime scene like that, anybody who's there, the DNA is taken.
And this is why Tory Lanez took it to trial, because he said, listen, I am going to defend myself and I'm not going to plead guilty and take a plea deal for something that I didn't do, which is another reason why men are under attack on a regular basis.
Another irregularity. Why, at Miss Harris's police interview, was a non-lawyer, non-family member record company executive allowed to participate?
That's crazy.
Highly irregular situation. Normally, we see cases, strangers are not allowed in these things, but it was in this case. All of these things point to the highly irregular nature of his trial and his conviction.
Facts.
It is our contention that he was wrongly convicted.
I agree.
And while we at first were willing to let the process play out, it is our contention now that if he is not pardoned or released promptly, he may never come out. And that would be the ultimate injustice, is that he gets killed in prison for something he did not do. At this time, I'd like to bring up Mr. Gianno Caldwell, the media member who was working on that op-ed for the New York Post. Thank you.
We're going to cover the rest of this on the Millionaire Morning Show. It's going to be the top story that we cover. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications from day one. And I had these debates on these panels. They tried to say that I was a misogynist. They tried to say, no. From day one, I said that this woman was a liar up to the top of her lungs, and that they were protecting her, and a record label was protecting her, and all of this stuff. And they tried to say that the vloggers was wrong. They tried to say that the people was wrong. They tried to sue everybody. Apparently, it's alleged that whoever it is that's put out this hit on him inside of prison, that it came after they let everybody know that this man is innocent, and they got new evidence that should lead to his exoneration and release from prison. And personally, because for me, this is beyond just her, him, record labels, who's incentivized in order to knock this guy off, whether or not they didn't agree with the fact that this guy was doing it independently and he was running up a bag. And who knows? It stinks to high heaven. But I know this. A, I was right. B, I was right. And C, I believe that this woman needs to go to jail. Somebody needs to be made an example of all of the lies that came. And then they had the nerve to release a documentary and making it seem like she was really a victim. Man, get the hell out of here, bro. Get the hell out of here. I stand on what I said. I was right, and I think I'm right about a lot of things. I'm open to the possibility that I was wrong, but I was right. I was right, and free Tory Lanez. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Again, we're going to be covering this on the Millionaire Morning Show. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.